Okay, Sajan, welcome back.
Yeah, the link
Right.
which you shared is not working.
No, I think Sunil joined, right? Sunil joined and today newly Venkat joined. The same link. They were in
Then why? See, just now you shared one more link, right?
that only, but I don't know. The same link Sunil is in, and I don't know what happened. Okay, it's okay.
No, thing
Let us,
is actually which you shared, right? That is we need to log in. Then only it will
maybe that's
connect.
fine, but let us use this link going forward, huh? Because
Yeah, I can
Sajan is
use.
able to log in this link, right? We use the same link. Okay.
Okay, no
Sure.
worries.
Yeah, no problem. So we had a high level introduction about Snowflake admin and uh, what is Snowflake admin will do, and we saw some part of account management. And you were able to create the free account, right? A 120 days account, and able to log in, both of you, Sunil and
No, I
Sajan.
have not yet created.
Okay,
Basically, so wanted to create like first one or two classes are done, so we have a chance to do some practicals,
no
right?
problem. Today we will see some hands-on, so you can do that. Okay. So,
Okay.
so we will see the Snowflake RBAC today. So I hope you are aware of what are basically RBAC, the role-based access control. So majority of the DBA will do some
Before
activities.
we,
Ah,
yeah, before sorry for the interruption. So before we move on to that, so there are three different type of roles we have maintained in Snowflake. It's called user management kind of thing.
huh.
And one more thing is maintenance kind of thing, and other thing is cost management, something that we need to
We will do
be
that. We will do first role management. Okay.
right. Yeah.
We are doing role management and learning role management first, because role management is basically how we are going to control the data access. And cost management is basically how you control the cost with respect to the Snowflake environment. And we also have data management also. So we'll see one by one. Okay. So when I talk about role management or role-based access control management, in the normal traditional database activities, which you are performing already, if you are, since you are working as a DBA, or you may, or maybe Venkat also have some fundamental knowledge on like what are the different methods a DBA will try to control the data. The normal traditional databases will use roles and privileges. In SQL Server, in Oracle, where you see some part of like a role-based access control there. But in Snowflake, it is not similar to that. You have a little bit a different way. So the hierarchy also not like how in general in other databases. Here in Snowflake, let me share my screen.
Is it from 9:30 to 11 o'clock,
11,
right?
11, 11:30, 11:30,
Okay.
2 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we talk about the role-based or like user and role-based access management, right? The access control basically will happen in different ways, right? So authentication will be there. So authentication is nothing but like where you go and try to log in, and in authentication itself you have like multi-factor authentication is there, and keeper authentication, and then single sign-on. So all will also we need to understand. And authorization. So authorization is nothing but who are authorized. So authorized in the sense, because of the sensitivity, data sensitivity, where the customers are very particular about. So we will try to control with some access privileges also. So with access privileges, we will try to grant the privileges, like we will try to use like a select, for example, where the user wants to read the data. And if the user wants to manipulate the data, we try to provide them the insert, delete, and update kind of privileges. And coming to Snowflake, respectively, in Snowflake, we have a usage and ownership privileges also. So when you go to database level and then schema level and warehouse level, you need to go and try to grant usage also. And if you are going for any database level, you have a ownership privilege also. The full ownership you can grant. And this data control commands like grant and revoke, even in Snowflake also the same commands, but the privileges which you are going to grant, you need to go with some hierarchy, like first database you will grant, and then you go to schema, and then you go to the group of database objects. So database objects, there are so many database objects available. We'll discuss about that. And coming to like encryption. So data encryption is also one of the important feature which every database is required, because in Snowflake, the data is automatically encrypted, because Snowflake will try to compress the data and it while storing, and it will try to store in the form of a feature called micro partition. Every micro partition represents one file. So data will be automatically encrypted, and where you can even select the data on the encrypted form also. And coming to like the role-based access control, whatever I was talking about, Snowflake is coming with two different types. The first one is like DAC, where the objects are owned by roles here. So role will have a ownership on the object, and the owner will have a full control and can grant access to others. So this is called like a discretionary access control. Second one, role-based access control, and the privileges will be assigned to the roles, and whoever will have that role, that particular user can go and access that particular object using that privilege. So users will not have any direct objects or ownership on the objects when they are using this role-based access control. But in case of DAC, the user will have a full control over the object, and he can grant the access to that particular object to others also. So Snowflake will combine this both, but how it is going to combine, and what are the different roles Snowflake is going to provide? And in Snowflake, we have like many different like objects available, secureable objects. Like for example, at account level itself, we have like a different objects, like users are there, and to control these users, we have roles and warehouses. So you might have used in your development activities, who are Venkat may have already used these warehouses. When you are doing some development, you may have a dedicated warehouse and the databases. So every project will have a group of databases, like development specific and QA specific and UAT and production databases separately. And we need to control each database to specific that environment, and we also need to control this particular access of the databases, sometimes in schema level and at table level also. I can give a full access to the database and full access to schema, and I can control even at the table at object level. And apart from this, at each account means here Snowflake account, at account level, we also have some integrations. So integrations here means storage integrations. So when you deal with any data loading, maybe for example, I want to load data from my external storage, like S3 bucket or blob storage or Google Cloud storage, you need to create an integration object here. This integration is going to help you to create a connection between Snowflake and the S3 bucket. Similar to that, Git integration object. For example, I want to integrate Git. I can create a Git integration object, dbt integration. So integration also at account level you can create. So your account will be integrated with that particular tool by using that object. And network policies. So we need to go at account level. You need to consider all this. And at database level, as I mentioned, schemas will be the main objects under every database, and you will have multiple schemas, and every new database by default will have information schema and public. These two schemas will be automatically created for every new database. And at schema level, we have multiple different secureable objects like tables, views, functions, stored procedures, we also have stages, file formats, and then pipes, and then streams, tasks. So we have different objects at each schema level. So account level, database level, and schema level, you need to see this hierarchy specifically. If you are at account level, you need to focus on whatever the users, roles, warehouses, and all the stuff. If you are dealing at database level, you also need to see how you can control at each schema. And if you are at schema level, you need to see which objects you want to control. So this particular objects hierarchy we need to understand, and each users will be, for example, so while creating the users also, we need to create a user, and you also need to assign the roles to them. So we cannot directly grant any like roles to the users, but you can assign a default role, but you need to run a grant command to grant the privileges. Without a granting the privilege, the user will not get the respective access. Even if at all I want to assign any particular role to the user, I need to use a grant command. And you want to remove that, you need to use revoke. Revoke the role from the user, and the username you clearly need to mention. And this can be done using SQL commands. At the same time, you can also perform using the interface also. Interface also have the provision to create users and roles. If you go to admin data governance tab, you will see users and roles, a tab. There you can do that. And what are the basic services which each users and roles at each RBAC level we can use is any particular non-interactive users and service level accounts used by, for example, you go to ETL specific tools and BI dashboards, they will have a service level accounts also. So application level account. So we also need to see how to control them by giving access to only the secure views, and then message views and secure message views. So you need to control. So that the authentication which you are going to use should be controlled using the Snowflake security methods like data masking. So dynamic data masking, where you will go and try to mask the unwanted and unauthorized data from the unauthorized users. And also the best method to control the access is to use the key pair authentication for all the service users, which usually people follow. The key pair authentication, where you will create a private access key and will try to control the access to that particular key pair authentication. That is one of the best possible way if you are using a service level account. And coming to any user in Snowflake, you will see this particular information while creating, like login name and password and default warehouse and default role. These two are for every user. Apart from login name and password, you will see a default role and default warehouse, which will be automatically, it will assign. So default role may be for a particular user, I want to make him sysadmin. So I can, while creating the user, I can clearly mention default role equal to sysadmin or user admin according to the requirement. And default warehouse. So the importance of warehouse in Snowflake is, without a warehouse, you cannot execute any SQL command in Snowflake. I hope you are aware of that. In Snowflake, to run any SQL command, you need a warehouse. A warehouse to be available, and it should be up and running. So without a warehouse, if you start even executing a query, it will try to throw an error like there is no active warehouse. Please try to start a warehouse. That is what the message it will prompt us. So any user you create, so by default, automatically they will not get access to any warehouse. We need to grant them the usage access on the warehouse. So whenever they log in, they will try to select the warehouse, and then they can start running their SQL commands. If you don't assign any warehouse, there is no meaning of creating a user because the user requires a warehouse to run their SQL queries in their environment.
So here in this case, warehouse is nothing but it's a the server
Compute.
where we keep the data, right?
Compute.
Yeah. Yeah.
A warehouse also called as virtual warehouse in Snowflake terminology. A virtual warehouse it can be a multi-cluster or single cluster also. So what is meant by single cluster and multi-cluster? A cluster means a group of machines, correct? No? Compute. When I say single cluster, I will have only one cluster and I can go and run some set of queries, but I may experience some latency if multiple users are running. So number of clusters is also important. And every virtual warehouse in Snowflake is going to have a size. So what is the size indicates? So like our t-shirt size, like X small, medium, large, X large. So you will have multiple different sizes. When the size increases, Snowflake will try to increase the query execution speed. The performance will increase. So what is the conclusion here? When you are running any particular query, single query, your warehouse size should be a bigger size if it is a complex and the query is very complex and which involves multiple aggregations and multiple tables and a huge amount of data. So it requires the resources like memory, CPU, temporary storage, all this. So your virtual warehouse size should be increased if it is taking time. That is called data spilling. When your multiple users are experiencing a latency for their SQL queries, then a concurrent execution is experiencing redundancy. So which means that the number of clusters need to be increased. So this particular increase in the clusters is called as scale out in Snowflake terminology. And increase in the size of the warehouse is called as scale up. So when to scale up and when to scale out, we should know. So when you are authenticating a user, the user will use a username and password is one method along with multi-factor authentication MFA. And every Snowflake DBA admin should force the users to configure the multi-factor authentication. We can use Google Authenticator also. We have so many authenticators available. Microsoft Authenticator is there, Google Authenticator is there. And for single sign-on, we have like Okta, very, very popular. So Okta integration for single sign-on and Azure AD. So according to the company's authentication method, the federal authentication, the people will try to use that particular tool. Like Okta is very popular. Okta with Dio app, where people use a OTP will be generated on fly and we will use that for authentication. And keypad authentication also is required. It is more secured than other two methods. So where you will have whenever you are performing some automation, so this is the best method to use, the key pair authentication, the private key pair, which you will generate, and then you will try to use this particular authentication when you are performing a automation with any kind of DB activities. So these three methods will be normally used for user authentication methods. And whenever you go with the roles and users, they will be a user will have multiple roles. In the same way, a single role can be also assigned to multiple users also, because the same role can be assigned to different users. So the many-to-many relationship will be there. So how can we go and assign that? You can use a grant command, grant role, and here whatever the role you are able to see, the analyst, this is called as custom defined role. Why? Because in Snowflake we have two different types of roles. One set of roles are called as system defined roles, and second set of roles are called as custom defined roles. So system defined roles will be like sysadmin, whatever you see. This is a system defined. Security admin, org admin, account admin, user admin, public. All these 6 roles are called as system defined roles because every user by default will be, if they are creating a free account, they will see all the 6 roles. Why? Because the user will be the admin. Correct? No? If I'm creating my own account, I will be the admin. So automatically, I will be able to get my full access. I will be the administrator. So I can see all the roles, whatever Snowflake is offering me. But in the ideal real-time scenario, if you go and join any project, if you're not an admin, you will not going to get any of the system roles. You will be assigned a custom role. So custom role means here analyst is a custom role, or database DBA a custom role, data engineer or finance analyst or data steward or sales admin. These kind of custom roles also you can create. And according to the team, you will create the roles and you will try to grant them the privileges based on their requirement. So a sales admin on the sales team will have a provision to control their team. So we will give them a sales admin role. Finance admin, who is a security, like how highly secure data. So finance admin will create. We also will create multiple different custom roles. And this is basically can be even controlled further by creating a approval hierarchy also. Approval hierarchy means in my case, in our project, I created a 3-level approval hierarchy also. After the user wants to get a data to any sensitive data, we categorize it into multiple 4 categories. Like low likely harm data, high likely harm data, and then normal data. So like that we categorized. So this low likely harm, high likely harm, highly sensitive, and normal. These 4 categories requires a different level of approval hierarchy. It is a high likely harm data. Definitely need to get approval from multiple people. Even from the information security team also need to approve. It is a low likely harm data, so your approval hierarchy may not be that much. It is a normal data, so they can get at least from their L1 manager approval. So this control, additionally I added because I don't want to give the access to everyone. So I want a authorized person is using the authorized roles and is accessing the authorized data which he is using for his project. So this kind of approval hierarchy is important. So when you go to any project, initial stages, people try to work more on this, particularly on the RBAC, because that is going to decide who is going to access what kind of data, because every company or bank or financial institutions will have a compliance team. What is the responsibility of compliance team? They will try to perform the auditing every year, and they will come and sit every year and they will try to monitor who is accessing and what kind of data, is any unauthorized data accessed by any people. So they will try to review everything. So to keep me in safe side, I created this approval hierarchy additionally. So without their approval, we will not provide any access also. So this approval hierarchy we should have, because or else you cannot control the data access. We don't even know who is accessing what kind of data. So we should have a separate inventory of what roles we created and what users we created and whom we gave access. This kind of information need to be even stored somewhere. If you observe here, the roles, whatever you see, these are called as system roles. Account admin, who will sit on the topmost. He is a super user. And under account admin, you will see sysadmin and then security admin. and user admin is the child role of the security admin. And sysadmin is basically under account admin, but all the custom roles, whatever you see, like data engineer role and analyst role, BI user role. So any kind of custom roles will be granted to sysadmin. So sysadmin only will use these kind of roles. And if you see, there are 6 users, and who is going to get what kind of role, we will decide first. And once the role is assigned, we can grant the privileges also to every role. For example, for this particular user admin, I am assigning some part of like a different database, like sales DB access. And then that too, I'm providing usage and select on the database, and usage and select on the schema. And we can go and provide the operate and modify on the particular database also. At warehouse level, you can give usage on the warehouse level. And stage, if I'm using, a stage is a storage location in Snowflake. We will have internal and external stages. So this to store any data, we use internal stage. It is internal to Snowflake environment. So how can we go and try to access that? So for that, we need to give a read access on the stage. So as a security admin, and every role, whatever you see here, will have a separate purpose here. So account admin is the super user. He can control the every user and every role here. And on top of account admin, you will have a org admin also. The org admin will come into picture when you have multiple Snowflake accounts. But one account admin will take care of all this hierarchy. So he can control security admin, he can control sales admin, he can control user admin. So majority projects will have a account admin who is the DBA, who will take care of controlling all these people, and he will only decide and then create users and grant them the respective roles. So maybe in my project, assume I have a new project assigned, so I will try to decide who is going to get the security admin and who is going to get the sysadmin, who is going to get the user admin. We will try to list out and we'll try to grant them. So here maybe Charlie, I want him to be security admin. And then Bob, I want to be user admin. So I will try to assign this user admin to Bob, and security admin to Charlie. And I want Alice to be a secondary account admin. So I will grant account admin role to Alice. So in my absence, she will take care of my role, my responsibilities. And these two people, maybe Steffi and this particular lady, I want them to be with this, maybe these roles, maybe data engineer role. And I want Steffi to be a BA user because she is a dashboard developer. So this kind of like system and custom roles need to be created. But every role, whatever you see here, will have its own responsibility and purpose. So the privileges will play an important key role here. And they will be the actions. And a role is a group of privileges. And a account admin will have a full control over the environment. And a security admin is basically can create users and roles, and additionally, you can also manage the grants, how to grant and revoke. And a sysadmin is basically will have a privilege to create or manage the database objects. He can create the warehouses, he can create the databases, he can create schemas, he can manage the entire data management. And custom roles is basically, which I was talking about, like whatever we saw, like DBA, or it can be a marketing analyst, sales admin. So these kind of custom roles also can be created, and we can grant privileges on the objects to any of these roles. So that is how you need to control the objects also. Whatever you see, these are all will be part of the resources or objects. Database is also an object. Schema is an object, a group of schemas. a database. A warehouse also an object in Snowflake. A warehouse here represent a group of clusters. A warehouse can be a single cluster warehouse or it can be multi-cluster warehouse also. So multi-cluster warehouse will improve the performance. So optimizing the warehouse also is one of the responsibility of the Snowflake DBA. How to reduce the cost, how better I can use my warehouse. How can I control what is the best time to increase the warehouse size? What is the best time to increase the number of clusters? What action to be taken if my users are experiencing latency? What action to be taken if my query is running long? And which queries are running long and which are the failed queries? So we need to have the clarity.
So finally, tuning is required, right? Tuning that the query is mandatory here also.
Exactly. So tuning the query is it normally at application level you do, but coming to like database level, when the query is running slower, then I need to see at query level I need to do, or at warehouse level also sometimes it will increase. So when I increase the number of like resources also will increase the performance, right? Correct or not? My query may be running long because it requires additional resources like CPU, temporary storage, and memory. So what is required here? I need to increase the warehouse size.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
before we move, increasing the warehouses. So what is the procedure approaching,
we need
you
to
guys
check in the query profile.
yeah.
So the query profile you have to review. Number of how many partitions it is. I will explain about that. Cost management is different, right? I'm explaining at the high level. So, but here, whatever you are asking is the right question only. But that basically at a table level, how it is going to scan. Full table scan will happen, right? Correct or not? To the query
Yes.
level, I need to see is it full table scan or how many joins it is using, how many aggregations it is using, what is the cost involved in that. I can clearly see that in the query profile. When you review the query profile, you will come to know. So where to go and increase, whether it is using any additional resources. Do I need to add any additional resources or do I need to go and reduce the number of partitions is scanned? Then I'll go at query level. Assume that I have 100 partitions in my table. If my table is scanning all 100 partitions, that is not correct, no?
Yeah.
I need to reduce the number of partitions. Then I use the concept called clustering and micro partitioning. So that is at query level, whatever you asked, that is correct. But at environment level, warehouse level also you have to do, right? Correct or not? Sometimes at warehouse level also you have to see when, because that is only will try to help you to optimize your cost also, no? So in Oracle or SQL Server, do you really consider like 100% about compute? Not like in detail, right? You will do. But compute level also, the cost level, you will see like, not like Snowflake. You will see that. But how much cost is involved, that is at you do at query level only, majorly. And storage also you will see at database level. So here in Snowflake, you can see, you can review that. Even I'm a developer, I can see that. If I have full control over that. So that is basically how you can manage. But objects level, Federal, I want to control, this role-based access control is going to help us. So all these, whatever you see, these are called as system-defined roles. Account admin, you can see security admin, we have a sysadmin, user admin, and public. All these roles will majorly called as system-defined roles, which are defined by Snowflake. If you log in, you will see all this. In your free account, you will see account admin, security admin, user admin, sysadmin, public, and you see one more role called org admin also. But org admin will come into picture when you have multiple Snowflake accounts.
What is it?
Org admin, ORG admin, organization admin. So a organization is a group of Snowflake accounts. But not every project will use multiple Snowflake accounts, right? because you need to pay. It depends upon the company's demand. If my company is having multiple clients, so each client will have a different account. Then I need a org admin to monitor the multiple clients accounts also. And you need to create an organization and add all the accounts to that organization. So organization management also is part of a DBA activity. I will discuss about that, don't worry, okay? But org admin, when org admin will come into picture, when you have a organization with multiple accounts. If I'm using only single account, I do not need org admin because I can simply use a account admin to manage it. Because account admin is the super user. And when to use which role is also we need to understand. So a account admin is the super user. He is the topmost and will need to be given to the access to the limited number of users. Security admin, he is the person who can manage users' roles and can grant the privileges. And a user admin is a child role of security admin, and he can also create users and roles. He cannot grant. And sysadmin can only create databases, warehouse, and other database objects. He can't do anything else. As a normal developer, all custom roles will be assigned to the sysadmin because sysadmin is basically for the developers. And user admin and security admin basically will be coming to picture only when you are creating users, roles, and granting privileges. In other times, they are not even required at all. But sysadmin is required because most of the projects will have a continuous development. Correct, no? We will not try to create users every day, right? Correct or not? And we are not going to create everyday roles. But we will do every day some development activities. Are you getting? All of you. You will manage. When you are managing, you require, definitely required. As a DBA, I definitely require this security admin and account admin. And if you get account admin access, you will get automatically all other roles access. Because if you see here a hierarchy, who is the topmost? Here, account admin. Under account admin, you have security admin, sysadmin at same level. And user admin is under security admin because he is the child role of this. And this is child role of this. And sysadmin also child role of account admin. So that is the reason when you get access, a account admin role access, you will get access to all whatever you see here. And every new user by default will get public role access. You do not need to grant it. The public is the default role for everyone, every user. But other roles, whatever you see, should be granted separately. They will not be assigned automatically. Hope that is clear. Are you getting?
Yeah, Sri. You mean
Yeah.
that system can give the grant
Security admin. Security admin. See, security admin. You need to be more clear. Huh? So security admin can grant the privileges. You can clearly see this. Manage grants and he can create users and roles also. But
actually in Oracle, sysadmin is the super user actually.
Exactly.
We'll use that assistant.
Correct. But here Snowflake divided like this. They divided into different roles. As a DBA, I should understand these roles also. Because if I don't understand and what is the purpose of each role, while granting you will don't know whom you will go and give the access also. Correct, no? So if we say user admin, he can only create users and roles. He can't do anything else. So for example, if I want to grant any particular activity of creating users and roles, I can assign user admin to your junior DBA also. Correct, no? Your junior. So you can take care of creating users and roles, and by user admin role. And whenever it requires any grant access, you will come into picture. And any developer you see, a senior developers, they will get sysadmin role. But juniors will not get because they will get a custom role. So Snowflake always, majority projects will run on the custom roles because the system roles are very powerful. So it should not be granted to everyone. So account admin is never. You will have only at max two people with account admin role. One is primary and then secondary. Nobody else will get the account admin role because the account admin is the topmost level in the hierarchy and who can do anything in the environment. A backup will be there, but yeah.
Sorry. Sysadmin role given to developer, they can able to create database, everything.
They can create databases and they can see that is not like Oracle here. In Snowflake, right? A developer is responsible for creating databases or tables. Because creating a database here as an infrastructure level, we do not need to worry about because you are not the storage because you are not going to specifically need to mention what is the storage required, all this stuff. You simply need to create a database, and then at database level, you need to see like who is going to access this database. You will control through these roles only. So it is not like
now maybe database admin can have only account role and security role. These two roles,
majorly he will be with account admin role. A database administrator in Snowflake will have account admin role. That is required. Because once he get access to this one, right, he will get access to all by default. That's what the hierarchy here, whatever you see. When I get this access to account admin, I will get access. I can do as a sysadmin, I can work as security admin, because I will get automatically all these roles in the hierarchy. Full control. But when I get a sysadmin, I cannot access the account admin, no? Correct or not? I can only create warehouses, databases, and other database objects. So Snowflake divided the environment like that. They don't want to say security admin to go and act as sysadmin, a sysadmin to act as a security admin.
So one more thing, actually, if developer can create their own warehouse, then what is the control in our hand admin?
Grant. See, if I create a warehouse, it doesn't mean that I can go and control that. I need to have a create warehouse access also. Normally, see, create warehouse, I can go and create that. But until unless I'll get a sysadmin role, I cannot do that, right? Correct or not?
Correct.
But the control will be with the security admin. He can go and grant the usage. That also is there.
Sure.
Without a usage access, I can't use the warehouse at all.
Correct.
If I'm a developer, I will not be sysadmin directly.
Then what is the use they can create? They can ask us to create the warehouse.
Warehouses can be created by sysadmin. It doesn't mean that sysadmin will create that. But majority of the projects, this will be done by the account admins only. Why? Because the warehouses will be decided before in any project, and what warehouse is required, what is the size, and who is going to access, all will be decided. But the roles will be created first. As I mentioned, the sysadmin will not be granted to everyone. Only a senior developers will be there, right? They will have that. Senior architects, they will only get sysadmin because who will be the active developers with more experience in Snowflake, they will get sysadmin role because these are system roles, right? You will not get access directly. Even if you go to any project as a Snowflake developer, you will not get sysadmin. You will get a custom role. And through custom role, you will get access to warehouse. Grant usage on warehouse to role. And whatever the role, you will get access. you will go and use that warehouse using that role. If I revoke that role access, you will lose warehouse access. You cannot run any SQL queries without that. Not everybody will get, that's what I was telling you. Not everybody will get access to system roles. 80% to 70 to 80% will work on custom roles only. The custom roles also, I'll show you a hierarchy, how it will be created. The custom roles are basically will be created through different hierarchy. And each custom role will be team-wise will have a admin, and then you will have a group of people like sales admin, finance admin, account admin. Account admin is basically the topmost, but sales admin and then finance admin. You will create a separate role for that. Sales analyst, finance analyst, marketing admin, marketing analyst. But the control will be under security admin only, majorly. So someone who wants to get access on a particular database, they need to reach out security admin only again. Because security admin only can grant the privileges. And you can manage users, you can monitor, you can edit users, roles, you can manage the entire grants in the environment, like privileges. It can be any privilege. Clear? And user admin is only dedicated for user management. He can't do anything else. But Snowflake created these roles because they want to have a separate role for user management and role management. So they created this particularly as a subset of security admin. So for example, maybe as a security admin, I may be busy. So I want to give that particular subset of work of this particular creating users and roles. I will try to ask user admin to do that. But I'm not giving a full control over, right? I'm just only asking them to create users and roles. But again, any thing I need to be granted, I will be having a control as a security admin. Correct, no? Hope you are getting. And
Yes.
every new user or role which created will not get a direct access to anything. Even if I have as a user admin, I create a user or a role, that is just for name purpose only. Until I grant something as a security admin, the user can do nothing. A security admin need to decide what are the roles to be granted to that user. And even that too will not happen immediately. As soon as you jump into a project, you will, for your role, there might be, whatever the activities you are performing, there might be one role might have already assigned. You will go and get a security admin will grant that role to you. Maybe one or more roles you will use. Maybe a particular warehouse you want to use, you need access to a role. A role they will grant you. And if you go and switch to that role, then only you will see that warehouse also. Without that particular switching to that role, you can't even see that warehouse in the list, or a database in the list, or a table in the list. So roles are very, very important here. The role-based access control in Snowflake is very, very powerful. Okay? And people ask me, so when the system roles are there, why custom roles are required? Because all the system roles I cannot grant to everyone. Because there might be some normal developers and there might be business users and data analysts and data scientists will be there. I cannot go and grant them directly sysadmin, right? Correct or not? Because they are from different team. So I want them to access my data. I don't want them to go and change anything. So I will get a data scientist role and I will grant them access to some group of tables or views. Select on a particular table. Select on some particular view. Even further, I don't want them to see some columns. I will apply data masking on that particular column. The data masking will mask the column is a sensitive column. So at data level also I can secure. At the object level also I can secure. At object level, I need to use this role-based access control. At data level, if at all I want to go and control, I will use the data masking and masking policies. So if you see the particularly the custom roles, the finance read-only access. So only select privilege we will go and provide. Grant select on a particular table to role finance read-only. That's it. So what will happen? Whoever will get this role finance read-only, they will able to select the data from that particular table. And one more interesting thing with Snowflake is normally if you go to other databases, a role can be assigned to a user. Correct, no? Or one or more roles. Is correct or not?
Yep. Yes.
But here, a role can be assigned to other role. That is possible here. For example, I have a data scientist role. I can assign it to another role, maybe data engineer role, or I can assign a data engineer role to a sysadmin role. So one role can be assigned to another role here. So whatever that particular parent role is going to have, all will be assigned to the assigned role automatically. So system roles, as I mentioned, are very sensitive and too broad. So custom roles will allow you to define the more granular business functions. Because I cannot go and blindly give. If I give sysadmin, he will get a full access on the databases and other stuff. But I don't want to go and give. I want to cut off the access. The HR analyst will access only HR database related data. ETL loader role will try to access a particular database where they can ingest the data. So both will be independent. An IT department will see only their data and they can access only their particular database and tables. They will not see HR specific data. Finance team will see only finance data. So these particular roles will control. More granularly we can go. Sales team can see only their data because I don't want a overlapping because data is again sensitive data. Most of the custom roles in the Snowflake usually will be owned by sysadmin or security admin. Okay. So normally you will have a function roles will be there, security roles will be there. You also will have environment specific roles will be there, environmental admin, I'll call it as. Functional roles like data scientist role, B analyst role, and then security admin role, read only, write only. So kind of security roles. So most of these particular roles can be created. We can create. So objects and then privileges are roles and it will go to users. For example, see this analyst role. This analyst role is having a usage on this warehouse and also usage on the database also. Can you see that? This arrow, all of you. This particular 3 people are having access to analyst role. So these 3 people can use this warehouse and they can also, since this role is having this usage access, they can also access this database. But this particular Kim also having analyst role plus the data engineering role. So he can do whatever these people can do. Plus additionally, this Kim can also see, he can even modify this particular warehouse. He can monitor, he can operate, like, and he can use it. And also he can apply on this particular all these privileges he is having on this database. So this particular Kim is a particular powerful than these three because they are only analyst. They need only this warehouse to run the queries and to select the data from this database. So they do not need like anything related to modify or monitor or operate like that on the warehouse. They do not need even nothing to do any modifications on the database or monitoring the database or even creating schemas, all this stuff. But this guy required create schema because sometimes while loading the data, you may need to create a new schema. Maybe raw schema, and then I want to convert into processing schema, transform schema, analytics schema. So I need to create schemas. After my data processing is completed, I will push into the final analytics schema. So I need to have that particular create schema role also. Privilege also. But not everybody will directly get this create schema role. They need to grant create schema to role this data engineering. Once this guy will get this role, automatically he will be able to create a schema. He is not directly getting the create schema access. He is getting this create schema access through this data engineering role. These people also not directly able to getting this warehouse usage access. They are able to access this warehouse through this particular analyst role. If I revoke this analyst role, they will lose both these privileges. If I revoke this data engineering role from Kim, he will lose everything, whatever you see these blue lines. Hope that is clear. Are you getting? Sunil?
Sir, how we can check
Yeah.
the privileges in the role here? Is the same method or different method?
We can go and review, and we can go and select the data, and you can see the interface. You can see the command like show grants. Command is there. I'll try to show you command. Okay. But how to create first? I'm trying to show you. Say how to create. See, I am using a role security admin here. Correct? No. This is important. When you are creating the roles and granting the roles, you need to switch to this particular security admin. How to switch? Use the role security admin in the command. And I'm creating two custom roles here. One is sales lead access and sales analyst. So this is how to create the roles through SQL commands. And once after I created, I'm building a hierarchy. Like I'm granting the sales lead access to role sales analyst. See, one role is assigned to another role. Can you see that? Yes or no? I'm assigning sales lead access to sales analyst. Can you see that? All of you. Is this possible in Oracle? Did any time you tried assigning one role to another role?
No. It's
No.
not possible.
But here we can do that.
Possible.
Is it possible?
But the thing is, Sri, actually you are creating the role, but that role have some privileges, right?
No,
Granting
as
this-
of now, it doesn't require. We can grant even privilege after creating the roles and granting also. Snowflake will allow that.
Okay.
So normally privileges will be given first and you will grant the role, correct? No?
Yeah, that's true.
But here in Snowflake,
Yeah.
you can grant the role, nothing will happen, even if you grant it. Because until you
No, first we have to create the role, then we have to grant the
privileges.
privileges.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
In
But
Oracle.
that's what here we are doing, right? We are creating the role and we are granting, and then you can also even grant the privileges to role. We can do that.
Yeah.
But here we are granting sales lead access to sales analyst, and sales analyst I'm granting sysadmin. Are you getting? So now sysadmin get access to this role and this role, both hierarchy. You are getting right?
Yeah.
So since this is granted to this and this is granted to this, so this sysadmin role will get both these roles, whatever they have the privilege. For example, assume this sales lead access is having access to maybe one database, maybe like a dev database, and the sales analyst is having to UAT. So sysadmin will get for both dev and UAT database access. But sales lead access will have only to do dev. And sales analyst will have again for both dev and UAT. So the hierarchy like that. So a role can be access to another role. That you have to understand in Snowflake. So coming to like account level, you will see databases. And if you come to database level, you will see schemas. And you come to schema level, you will see tables, views, and then you also will see Snowpipe, stages, streams, tasks, all the objects. Again, account level, you have warehouses, storage integrations also. Because there are some objects at account level and objects at database level and schema level also. That hierarchy you have to understand: account level, database level, schema level. Because you will create an account first, and then you will log into the account, and then you create a database. And once database is ready, you will create a schema. And once schema is ready, you will create the database objects. That is how you need to understand. Coming to privileges, object privileges, see database level. If it is database you are creating, once after you created, you can use this object privileges. Like for example, you can see here, usage, grant usage on database, maybe dev to role sales analyst, or grant monitor, which is going to enable you to describe the database. If I want to apply describe database command, I need a monitor privilege on database. If I don't have monitor privilege, I cannot describe the database. I can't see any information. I hope you are getting what I'm trying to say. And create schema. So whenever I have a database ready, I need a create schema to create, or even sometimes even cloning the schema also. So cloning is, or zero copy cloning is another feature. I'll discuss about that. That whenever I want to create or clone schema, I definitely need a create schema privilege also.
So
And
this is cloning schema is also, is it chargeable or something here?
No, zero copy
Clone
cloning.
is no chargeable,
Zero
right?
copy cloning, free.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Cloning is free because
Yeah.
the storage cost will be zero.
Yeah, understood.
When I clone any database, maybe 1 terabyte database to another 1 terabyte, the second clone database storage cost is zero.
But how this service Snowflake can identify this is the clone of data?
There is a clone group ID will be there.
Oh, okay.
A clone group ID will be attached to the clone database. So they both will share the same micro partitions internally. So Snowflake will try not charge you if the partitions are same. Only to the source database only they will charge you. For the clone database, it is zero. It will show you clearly active bytes 0 also. When I say active bytes 0, you are storing nothing, right? Correct or not?
Yeah.
So that will clearly, it will show you. If you go and review the cloned objects, right? The storage, it will clearly show you that the cloned objects will have a 0 active bytes. I will discuss once you go to the storage management and backup and storage management. I'll show you that. And if you schema level, you see most of these are like at schema level, like usage. You will see monitor to describe that. And whenever you go to schema level, you definitely will create all these objects, right? Tables, views, stages, pipes. Most of the Snowflake objects you can create if you have a usage schema access. And once you get a table access, you will see all these privileges like select access, insert, update, truncate, delete, all will be at table level. If you are using any view, you need a select access. And stages. So stages are one of the unique feature available in Snowflake. We have internal stages and external stages. So when I say stage, that is the intermediate storage to load the data into Snowflake. So when you want to get access to the stage, you need a read access. So you need, whenever I want to go and any data I want to download from the stage, I need to get a get command access. Or I want to see the files in the stage, I need a list command access. or I want to load the data from the stage to table, I need a copy into command access. To get all these access, I need a read privilege. And anytime you want to copy the files, upload the files, I need a write access. Remove the files or copy into, I need a write access. See, most of the times you will not keep any files in the stages. So when you are keeping the files in the stage means you need to pay storage cost. So you will remove them. Assume I copied the files, but if I don't have any remove access privilege, I can't remove the files, right? Correct or not? So once after my job is done, I should remove the files. If I keep the files, I need to pay storage cost. So as a developer, I need a remove files access also. So I should get a write access on the stage. All these more granularly you can control it at object level. I hope that is clear. Any questions? Sadhan?
So the Snowflake internally it have that encryption as well as compression, right?
Correct. Automatic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It is automatically encrypted and compressed. We can even select what is the encryption method also. I'll come to that.
Yeah, that is important.
Yeah. I'll discuss that. Don't worry. Because controlling of this particular data compression also you can change, because the data compression methods are different. Like we have like gzip compression, we have like snappy compression with parked with snappy compression is there. So that also you can control. While storing the data, a 1 CSV file with 1 terabyte file will come to 20 GB file if I go and use a Avro format. So you can see how much storage you are saving, correct? No?
Yeah.
So, that is also you have to think about, right? In the storage optimization, the cost optimization, I should know that I need to use a Avro or ORC type for my file storage so that I can reduce the cost. If I don't use that, I need to pay 1 terabyte file storage cost, no? So that is also important. So compression, Snowflake will do automatically, but at the same time, you also need to have some clarity on how to go and save the storage. And Snowflake also came up with a archival feature also. I'll discuss about that. How to archive the data. So that is also very important to understand.
And also important that you said one more thing, that we can copy the data without actually sharing the data physically.
Correct. Secure data sharing. Correct.
Yeah.
The secure data sharing is very important feature where you physically copy the data. You can avoid that.
Okay. That is called secure
data sharing.
Okay, secure data sharing.
Secure data sharing that usually can be done by account admins only.
Oh, okay.
Assume you are using your Snowflake account you created. I am using my Snowflake account. I can share my database to you. Even you are using your own account, I am using my own account. But for that, I will use a secure data sharing feature. See, this is basically will not happen in Oracle, right? Account to account.
Yeah, no way.
No, but here you can do that. That is called secure data sharing, where you will not go and physically copy any data here. Only you will provide a read-only access on the database. Read-only access, specifically, the user can only read the data. He can't do anything else. He can't even modify also. Once after he has finished his work, you can remove the access also. That can be achieved through a feature called secure share. A share object can be created for that, and we can grant the access to the share. Even that also will happen with the grant command only. So you should know this grant command even in secure data sharing. How to grant a particular database access to the share, and once after you granted, you need to add that particular account identifier to this share. Maybe I want to give access to you, your account identifier. I find out and I should add your account identifier to that share. Then only you will be able to see that database. That is a standard process. I'll show you that once you go to that. So here I am granting a usage on database to role sales rate, and then granting usage on schema to role, and then granting select on table to the sales rate. So you must grant usage on database and then schema before you can grant select on a table inside them. That is very important. Or I can grant full access on schema also. Assume that I want to give all the tables access. I can grant the entire full schema access, right? Correct or not? But that is not safe, no? Giving full access on schema is not correct. Correct? Do you agree?
Yeah.
So you need to control, right? More granular way. So what access? Strictly, you should be very strict about the access. I hope you know about it. But you should go more granularly and give the access. If table access means give only table access. Don't give anything extra. Select means only select. Don't ever give grant all, because that is not even safe, because data is very sensitive. Give select access first. Once it is really required, then you can revisit and we can grant. See here, Eldon, for example, and Bryant, these two people are the account admins, primary and secondary. But since they both have account admin, they got automatically these three. Correct, no?
Yeah.
And this lady is a security admin. See, she is not getting direct security admin access. She is using a custom role only. Prod security admin and prod sysadmin. And she will not get a direct access to any system role. And she will be acting as environment admin. So she will grant the privileges. At the same time, she is acting as a developer also, both. And this is basically, we can call them as environmental admins. And these two people, Leon and Roy, these are with the functional roles. One guy is data scientist, another guy is BI analyst. But what Leon is doing, Leon requires a full access on the sandbox schema in the production database, because he do perform some data science and deep learning activities. So he will even upload some data, he will delete and you do some kind of activities. So he need a full access. So this is called a security role. And Roy is a BI analyst. He only requires a read-only access because he works on dashboard development. So we are giving him a production main read access on main schema. See, both are having different schema access, correct? No? This is different, this is different. And this guy is with read-only access and this guy is with full access. So we are controlling, correct or not? Hope you are following. Even if you go to real time, you need to segregate like this. You should have a separate list of roles, custom roles. What are the roles to be created? You should decide. Who is the account admin? Who is going to act as a security admin? Not everywhere you will have separate people. Sometimes one person will act as security admin and sysadmin like this also. So according to the team's requirement, you will try to decide. So Leon is having a prod support like role, which we granted. So he will be having a usage on main schema. And he also will have a select on all tables. And he will also will have a usage on the warehouse also, because he requires. Because he need to perform some database management activities also. So broad DB database, schema and tables. Because his minimum requirement is to access the data. So he need a select access, assume that. all tables, because a production support team will need a select access, right? Correct or not? And in coming to Snowflake side, you need a warehouse because you need to run SQL queries in the support activities. Hope this is clear. So that is how you need to decide. So this is a product support is a custom role here again. Another role, which is giving a usage access on database and both schemas and even warehouse also. And normally, if you go to any project, this is an example. See, you will have different teams like a finance team, HR team, information security team. You have different teams, and you will also will have different functions also. And you will have different layers, like self-service layer will be there, presentation layer will be there, and you will divide. And both will be like in different zones. And according to the business, presentation layer will be given access, and all the departments will have a self-service layer to check their data and read their data. Maybe because they will generate some reports. Maybe sales finance team will have some reports. HR will have some reports. Sales will have some reports. So their particular database access they will get. And if you see here, even every layer not accessible to everyone. So see the primary roles who will access this raw layer, only these roles. Data engineer, data steward, data scientist, research analyst, only these four roles are having access to raw layer. But coming to presentation layer, we have a reporting analyst because some people who wants to generate reports, they need access to the presentation layer. But coming to service layer, data engineer does not require for that. Only these people will require data for their analysis. So we are giving only these four roles to the self-service layer. And data also, I was mentioning about classification of data, non-sensitive data, low likely harm, high likely harm, restricted, like that. And you need to decide. See, high likely harm, you might have already seen this kind of data like SSN data, but all will fall under this high likely harm data. Low likely harm like PII data, personal data like phone number, email. And restricted, some of the data which is not even given to everyone, like finance data, very, very secured. Only finance admin should be able to see that. And non-sensitive data will be there, which can be granted access to at organization level to everyone. So we need to classify. And once after you classify also, see, I was talking about this approval levels also, if you remember. The report analyst role, who wants to access non-sensitive data, I decided they should get approval from event manager. This is not in Snowflake. I created this hierarchy. A same person with report analyst role who wants to access low likely harm data, I created a hierarchy approval. He should get L1 manager, L2 manager, and division group approvals. And high likely harm data, same report analyst role should get approval from L1, L2, and information security team also. Because this is high likely harm data, right? I need additional approvals. If any one approval level is missed, I'm not going to give access. And once after I granted this particular role, this data access, I will inform the division group also. Because I want to be in safe zone. To create this hierarchy, this is only one page, but this particular hierarchy were having more than 40 roles. And to decide this hierarchy, I got so many iterations with my compliance team. Multiple iterations to decide whom to give what kind of access, what is the approval levels, everything, data sensitivity. It took me almost one month to 2 months with multiple iterations. Because every bank will have their own compliance team who will be involved in this particular data governance, correct? No? We would have also experienced from your teams. This,
Yeah.
so data sensitivity is very important, correct? No?
Yeah, that's true.
Because later you are responsible, right? You need to justify why you gave access. Everybody will come and they will ask everything. They'll talk very sweetly and they will get the access. So later you will see the heat
Yeah.
from the teams. I saw many times. Once they get access, they will be happily they will finish their work. But once the compliance team will come and sit, then I experienced many times. So that is why I added additional levels of approvals here. I hope now you understood why I added these levels. If you don't add this kind of levels, right, you cannot control. Because Snowflake is not like other databases. The cost is involved in this. Storage cost or compute cost, data transfer cost. There are so many different costs available. So when a person is using a warehouse, you are responsible for that because you gave the access. So when he is using that means he should be authorized. When he is using with a particular role, you need to verify what is his authorization also. Clear? Venkat, are you following?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, because majority of the DBAs will be very strict on this because should be strict. Or
Yes,
else
yes,
you cannot control also.
correct.
As a developer's perspective, you may feel that the data is important, but the sensitivity also you may not know sometimes. Only DBA
Correct,
will know.
correct. Yeah, yeah.
The customers, not every customer is same again. Sometimes the customers will be liberal, some customers will be very tough.
Mhm.
They will try to screw you because they know even it is not sensitive, else is insensitive.
Yep.
Why have you given access? I saw that, I experienced that. So that is the reason I created this hierarchy so that everybody will be go with some authorization and I'll have a track of inventory also. I have a separate application to track this RBAC, a streamlit application which I created to track these particular roles and once in 2 days I'll verify that inventory and tree and see who is having access. Are there any people who are having a unauthorized people users are having access? I'll try to see and I'll try to revoke the access also because it is
Okay,
not
that's
like
a
huh,
yeah. Is that a separate application or else you are
I
like
created a separate application. Yes,
create
correct.
in Snowflake dashboard only?
Not Snowflake dashboard. It is Snowflake Streamlit dashboard.
Mhm. Streamlit, okay.
And Snowpark.
Okay,
Yeah.
Streamlit application. Okay, fine.
Yeah. This application level I created for myself to save my time.
Yes, yes, I understand. Got it.
Yeah, because in interface you can do, but
Mhm.
you will not get all the features in interface. There is some
Correct.
limitation in interface also. Or you need to write some commands and you need to type some commands. So instead of that, I create my interface so that I can go and log in into that and see as a table and I have an option to delete users or disable users also and
Okay.
remove the roles and disable the roles. I have every option in my application.
Okay. So as part of this course, will you introduce that
I
kind
will,
of
I will.
okay.
I will try to do that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks.
No problem. So see, programmatically, whatever I'm talking about programmatically, but command level also we should know. It is like
Right.
sometimes you cannot go and use application every time. If it is
Hmm.
sometimes any immediate access required and the user is sitting on our head, you also need to know how to run through command also, like how to use some example.
Correct.
So if you see here, I'm assigning the default role UAT support and default warehouse. I'm simply like altering the user. This kind of commands also you may need to run some as a DBA sometimes.
Correct.
Or you should know at least through interface how to do this. Correct, no?
Hmm. Correct.
Yeah. So that's what. So when you are dealing with this like this for Snowflake interface, you should, as a DBA, should have control over most of the data governance, because the data governance is one of the very important feature as a DBA which you need to focus, because the data access is done through roles here. And coming to here, this is a role to role where you are granting this particular UIT support to platform support, and I'm giving broad support to platform support, role to role assignment. You can see here.
Right.
So that he will get access to both.
Yes.
So one role to another role to role assignment. So that is the benefit in Snowflake. But this can't be done in other databases, but only in Snowflake we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coming to like what you have to understand to summarize, the roles will own everything here in Snowflake. So because every object, like not only table, like views, schemas, databases, every object will have a single owning role. So we are to need to see until a account admin, we reach the account admin, we will generally own everything on the account. So we need to be very clear. So a account admin in the hierarchy basically will try to control. So we should reach out them to get the access. So role is important here. Through roles only you will try to access everything. Users own nothing here. Even if I get a user, I assume I got a user. I'm able to log in inside. Until unless I have any role, I can't do anything. Because a warehouse also can be accessed through a Snowflake role only. I need to switch the role. See, simply getting access to role is not important. To get access, I need to switch to that role also. Assume I got a data engineer role, I need to switch to that role. Then only I will be able to see my access privileges. And ownership transfer. So I can even transfer the ownership of one privilege to another role also. Maybe I want to transfer the full ownership of one database to a particular role, I can do. Because owning an object is different from owning a role, because I can directly get a ownership of an object, that is full control, correct? No? If I revoke the role access, I will lose everything. So we should know what is the granularity at role level and getting access at the object level also. Hope that is clear. So all this I gave some examples how you can go and understand about this particular granting privileges, and which privileges are basically at a table level. This is an example, like all these are at table level. Select, insert, update, delete, all these reference, all this you can grant. Most of the like you can see here objects here. These are all Snowflake objects. Example, sequence is available in the Oracle also, and here also you can see sequence. But task and streams and pipes and stages are available here only. And in Oracle we have views and method views, correct? No? And even SQL Server also. But here we have secure views also. A secure view is also, and semantic views most recently added with Snowflake. So you can even grant on the semantic views also and secure views as well. Most of the Power BI dashboard developers will get access to semantic views. Okay. And revoking, so same. I hope you might already seen as a DBA many times revoke command. So same revoke command here. So how to go and revoke the privileges. I want to revoke at each specific access. I will use on that particular access level. Maybe I want to revoke it, select on a table, or I can also give select comma, insert, comma, delete on table also. Multiple privileges or all privileges also. Revoke all privileges on schema. If at all I want to do it one shot, I will use all privileges. Or if at all I want to go at specific access level, I'll give that access level name, comma, and next access level. Similar to that Oracle, how you usually revoke, you can revoke basically. Okay. And all these are some examples which you can like just go through it. Yeah. So this is an example how through command you can create. See, basically a user can be created by simply using create user username, and these are all the like privileges which a user will get. Properties I need to set up like password, login name, default role. I was talking about default role. A default role will be automatically displayed and pointed to that user whenever they will log in. And default warehouse also. It doesn't mean that they will get a direct access. Until you grant, they will not get access. But default role and default warehouse will be automatically pointed to a default role and default warehouse. And must change password equal to true indicates whenever the user will log in for the first time, they will need to change the password forcefully. If you mention that as false, the user can use the same password, whatever he is going to get. Whenever he wants to change, I need to add this last property also. But default it is true. If you don't want to change, you can mention that as false. But same thing can be achieved through interface also. Okay. And how to lock a user? I need to use alter user username set it disabled equal to true. And reset the password, all these commands, like where I can go and reset the password using this particular command, but I can do the same through interface also. But command wise, I need to use this particular like SQL commands. So unset default.
Actually, one question here. So
Hmm.
when you get a request like for we need to create like users for multiple users at a time, like 10, 15 users like that.
Correct.
So we need to create manually itself, or else is there an automated way of doing
No,
the
that's
things?
what I was telling you, right? The interface will give you an option to create one user at a time.
Okay. Is there any programmatical way from
You
back
can
end,
do
like
right.
CLI?
My interface, I can create multiple users. Say checkbox, I can give multiple users and the same privileges. But that's what. See, if the users are required the same privileges, the
Yeah.
same level, I can use my interface can do that.
Okay. So
Ah.
there should be some at enterprise level. No one will manually do one user.
Nothing like that. I need to write my customized code.
Customized code, right? Yeah. Fine.
That's what. See, multiple users means, first of all, I need to repeat the process, correct? No?
Correct.
So programmatically I can do that. But here in interface, if at all I want to create, I can create user by user by using the there is a create user option.
Correct. Yeah.
But you can create one user at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the restriction the limitation is there.
Okay.
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 So coming to other features like multi-factor authentication, MFA you might have seen. There's so many like options. You see this my MFA in so many ways. Like even if you go to AWS account also you'll see MFA. Even Snowflake also basically will allow you to configure multi-factor authentication. To achieve that, if you go to Snowflake account, there is a option to enforce that. Let me show you. Here, if you go to governance and users and roles. So for this user, see MFA is no. Can you see that? So this MFA is no.
Yeah.
I can even configure that. So this is basically advanced users only, but here settings. Here you can see. Can you see that, everyone? So this is where I can configure my MFA, but for the user level, I can enable that. I can use alter a user and I can enforce multi-factor authentication that user so that the user has to configure MFA. So as of now, I don't have any MFA here. If I want to configure, I need to use the authentication method and I need to go and configure using passkey or authenticator, Google Authenticator, I need to use here. Or there is a programmatic access also using, for example, I can use a token and I can also programmatically use this. So that is one way. And any particular user you want to enforce it, you need to go and use alter user username and you need to configure that. So disable user and then grant role, all these are available here. But there are some other activities if at all you want to go and default warehouse and default like role I want to assign and all, I can also do that here. You can see I can change it default warehouse and default all this information. And roles wise, you see these are all the roles available as of now, system roles and one custom role. So custom role is nothing but this one, Snowflake learning role, which is Snowflake created. What if I want to create? I'll go here and I can create my maybe DBA I want to create. And as a DBA, I want account admin, I'll give this and I'll simply click on create. See, if you click this, you will see this is basically a DBA with one granted role, which is nothing but account admin. But this role is not assigned to every user as of now. So once a user is created, I can simply grant this DBA role to him. So automatically they will get account admin also, correct now?
Yes.
So automatically, because I granted, see, number of users granted is 0 here. If I create any user, I can grant them. So for example, I'll come here, I'll say create user, John. This particular force user to change password on first time login is nothing but must change password equal to true. The same property. Here
Okay.
checkbox.
Yeah.
Hope you are getting.
Right. Yeah.
Login name and login name you can see here. Whatever the login name you want, the display name, first name, we can give default role and default warehouse. I want to give them the default is DBA for this. See, I'm adding that. And default warehouse, I want to give a compute warehouse. And simply click on create user. See, now John is automatically will get a DBA role. So let me click on this. So he granted roles is DBA. Can you see that? So I granted this.
Yeah.
And when you click this, he will see. So he automatically, when I go on log in with this user, for example, I go here. And log in with another browser. And I'll log in with John user. So John is a account admin now, DBA, correct now?
Yeah.
So since he's a DBA, he should be able to get account admin also now because I granted account admin to the DBA role. So see, it is asking to change the password because we checked that checkbox.
Correct.
Possibly it has to change. So I'm just clicking on submit. So John has been logged in now. And if you see, John will see the default role as DBA. Can you see that? Everyone?
Yeah.
Automatically, you will see that and go to workspaces. And a workspace is a group of Snowflake, worksheet, and other stuff. So now, if you see here, I'll go to SQL file. And he's a DBA now. And you can select any warehouse. I'm selecting this compute warehouse. And the database, I'm selecting maybe Snowflake Learning DB. So I can select anyone, it's fine. If you observe here, John is public and Snowflake role he got. Just 1 minute, we granted that. Okay. What I'll do, we granted this, okay. Okay. So I need to so what I do, I just try to grant the user is John. I'll add I'm just granting account admin. Let us see. You should get DBA role also now. Let me try to see that. So we got account admin. So since we got account admin, John and two users are having this one. DB also automatically got. Since I gave account admin, DBA also has been assigned to account admin. So automatically this particular role is having DBA role. So if I go back here and if I refresh this, so John should have account admin role now. Let us see. I go and see. See. So automatically he got account admin and DBA and other roles also. Because a role to role assignment we did. A DBA role has been added to account admin. If I revoke account admin, he will lose everything. For example, if I go back here, so what I will do, I'll go to, John, and I'll try to revoke this. Since I revoked account admin, he will lose account admin and DBA both.
Yeah.
Hope you are getting.
Yeah.
So the hierarchy is like that. So when I refresh, let us see. But default it will show as DBA only because default role we gave. See, nothing is there. Because he lost every role. So revoking a role will revoke the entire access.
Yeah.
Hope you're getting.
Right.
Any questions? Sadhan, are you following?
So here any privileges we cannot grant to the user directly, only roles.
Correct. But now there is a UBAC also. Recently they added user-based access also. This, see, they are adding one by one. First they gave it role-based access control. Then they gave it DAC, and then now they added UBAC also. User-based access also you can give. But I'll show you that. But role-to-role access is only available in Snowflake only, but you can't find anywhere. One role to another role. Correct? No, role to role. So for example, when I added DBA role to account admin, once I gave account admin to John, John got both. He got account admin, he got DBA, both.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is like because a hierarchy. For example, whatever DBA will have, everything account admin will get. Whatever account admin will have, both account admin and DBA, both John will get because he got account admin role. Like that. So hierarchy will be how you are going to grant at the parent, and automatically he will get the other child roles access also. If I give security admin, for example, he will get security admin and user admin both. He can act as both. So that hierarchy you have to understand. Sysadmin, if I give sysadmin, he will get only sysadmin and public. If I give user admin, he will get user admin and public. But when I give security admin, he will get security admin, user admin, public, all these three hierarchy. If I give account admin, he will get everything. Like account admin, security admin, user admin, sysadmin, and then public. So parent, when you give parent, all the child roles also will be inherited automatically. Hope that is clear. Any questions, Sunil?
Yes, we have discussed a lot of on theoretical part. So practically, can we discuss tomorrow or
Yeah,
how
we'll
it
see
is?
tomorrow. But I will do that tomorrow. But at high level, you understood, right? The importance of roles, RBAC.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because RBAC is very, very crucial for most of the projects because the data control, security
Correct.
is very important. First and foremost priority, which I feel in general. But data
Yeah,
loading I can do.
definitely.
Huh.
Yeah, DBA is to hierarchy we need to follow as you
True,
said.
true. All the
Roles,
time.
yes.
And we have like data masking and then security data sharing also in data governance. We'll discuss, but initially we should understand all this because these are the fundamental foundation for even secure data sharing and data masking also. You should know what are the roles first because you will control through roles only. It can be row level access control or column level access control or tag based masking. Everything depends on the roles. Only through roles only you will control. Clear?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll stop here today.
Sure.
And I'll share this PPT. Please go to this PPT and I'll share some scripts. If you have some time, you can try that.
Yeah.
Basic scripts. And try to create. And you can also try through interface also.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
are you sharing any recordings or else?
I will share the recording and materials and we have Google Drive. We'll talk to that. Another. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sri. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, sir.